Hello, welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to be playing Pokemon Scarlet with only Shinies. I'm going to explain the rules.
This is how it's going to work. I basically date skip until I find an outbreak for a certain Pokemon that I want or anything that I would like. Even if I don't want it and it's good, then I still might go for it. I kill 60 Pokemon in that mass outbreak, and my shiny odds are reduced to 1 in 1,300 something. Oh my god, it took me like 5 times to not mess that up, I swear. I don't know the exact number, but it's somewhere between 1 in 1,300 and 1 in 1,400. As you can see, we just won against Nemona, and we also gave Koraidon my sandwich. And now I'm talking to Arvin, battled him, and won. I tried date skipping and accidentally ran into a Toxel. I was doing 0 damage to it, and I decided to catch it. I'm not going to use it in any major battles. I'm just going to use it for mass outbreaks and until I get a strong enough shiny Pokemon. As you can see, I found a Riolu outbreak. I killed 60 of them, and then I ran around for a while, did the picnic method, so on and so forth. I shiny hunted for about 4.5 hours straight, and I didn't find a shiny Riolu. I gave up and went to bed that night. The next day after school, when I got home, I shiny hunted, and I found a Scatterbug outbreak that was really close, so I went to it, and I killed 60 of them as normal. Also, sorry if the recording is super quiet. I was recording in the middle of the night, and I didn't want to, be screaming and talking so loud, so yeah. After killing all 60, I took a break, went on my phone for a while, and 10 minutes later, this happened.
No way. There it is. There it is. Yes. Yes, you just saw that. Literally 12 seconds after saying, I just want a white bug. There it is. I caught it, and then I wanted to level it up, but I had to go to the level 3 Pokemon to level it up because it was so weak. After auto-battling for a while, I managed to evolve it into a Spupa, and I'm not gonna lie, this shiny looks pretty cool. Let the clip speak for itself. Yeah, this shiny is pretty awesome. My 1-foot-tall shiny also learned Protect. After evolving it, I went to bed. After battling some more, my Spupa evolved into Vivian. I kinda like this shiny. The one thing I don't like about it is that it didn't change the wing colors and that this is the only wings it has, sadly. But it's still a cool shiny nonetheless. My Vivian also learned Gust, which is going to be a very important move for the Bug-type gym, now that it can actually do damage. I then proceeded to roll an Olive around for a bit, and then I fought the gym leader. The battles were fairly simple, and I pretty much one-shot all 3 of her Pokemon. Her Teddiursa Terrestrialized to a Bug-type, which is a big mistake. And then I got the Bug-type gym badge. From the start of the challenge, I wanted to get shiny Pokemon that would help me out the most in gyms, Titans, and Team Star bases. And those types are going to be Fighting, Ghost, and Ice. Getting a Fighting type Pokemon would help out with the Rock Titan, Steel Titan, Normal Gym Badge, Dark Team Star base, and the Steel type Elite 4 member. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Ice Gym, but it helps out with that too. Getting an Ice type is going to be very important because it will help out with the Flying Titan, the Ground type Titan, Dragon type Titan, technically Bug and Grass gyms, but you don't really have access to Ice types yet, so those don't count. It's going to help out with 3 out of the 4 elite members, Ground, Dragon, and Flying. The Ghost type isn't as important as Fighting and Ice, but it does help out with the Ghost Gym, Psychic Gym, Fighting Team Star base, and the Normal Gym. I kept resetting for outbreaks of one of those 3 types, or at least until I got something decent. I saw a Rufflet outbreak, and I started battling a bunch of Rufflet. Eventually, I got my shiny Rufflet, and I used it for the Grass-type gym. After beating the Grass-type gym, I figured that I wanted to beat the Rock Titan. and since both of my Pokemon were weak to Rock type, I was gonna have to find another shiny Pokemon. I kept trying to reset for a Pawmi or a Riolu or a Mankey outbreak, something good, but an outbreak like that never showed up. And instead I found a Wooper outbreak on accident and decided to hunt for that. Killed 60 Wooper, hunted for about 10 minutes while watching YouTube, got bored, turned off my game, and then a day later went back on, and not even 5 minutes after turning on the game, there it was, my little shiny Wooper. I caught it and I proceeded to beat up the Rock Titan. And then this happened. It missed? What? How did it miss? I can't get any, I don't get to kill him. This was my moment, you dumb, stupid boy! You stole my moment. I didn't defeat it, Arvin did. After Arvin defeated the Rock Titan, he tried making me a sandwich to make up for it. Sandwich. Next, I go to defeat the Sky Titan. I put it to sleep with Sleep Powder, and then I switch it in Clodsire and take it out with Poison Tail. Arvin comes a little late to the party, but that's okay. He uses his Knacklight to use Smackdown while I keep spamming Poison Tail. I took out the Titan. Oh, look at that. Koraidon wants a sandwich. I think it's sandwich time. Now Koraidon can surf on water. I finally got my Ghost-type shiny, which just happens to be this Drifloon that I found. After that, I go to the Fire Team Starbase and spam Mudshot until everything died. Clodsire made this fight an absolute joke. I ended up finding a shiny Riolu, something I wanted to do since the beginning of the video. And this time, it did not take me 4.5 hours on a school night. After catching my shiny Riolu, I immediately evolved it using a Tooth Bell to increase its friendship, and then used a rare candy to level it up. And now it evolved into a beautiful Lucario. Great! Now I have 2 piss-colored shinies. All jokes aside, these shinies are actually pretty cool. Next, I found a shiny Citadel after killing all of these fat, white, little circular Pokemon. What has gotten into me lately? So many innocent lives have died just so I can get a black ball instead of a white one. Ah! They will write my name down in their history books as the cause of the most devastating time in their lives. I battled the boss of the Dark Team Starbase. I used Aura Sphere on a Pokemon that's 4 times weak to fighting. Oh no, it's the big scary Vroom Vroom car. What shall I ever do? Boom! Oh. That was easy. After that, I think about my life choices, and I decide it's gym time, baby. After being the biggest NPC anyone can be, I am lost, running around aimlessly trying to figure out the gym test. Then Larry does a cool magic trick and sends a bunch of people to the Dark Void, never to be seen again. Wow! After using Aura Sphere 1 time, yes, you heard that right, 1 single time, I knocked out this koala instead of drinking water to make sure I don't die from thirst. What's that, a Dudunsparce? Dudunsparce glared at me with its big scary eyes, and now Lucario is paralyzed in his back and legs. I cured the paralysis and finished off the Dudunsparce with an Aura Sphere. Here comes Larry's big scary bird. This is the only time I've actually had a challenge in this game so far. I don't knock it out with Aura Sphere, heal up my Lucario, and the big bird decides to get angry and hit me again. I knock it out with 1 final Aura Sphere. Oh hey, look at that, my Drifloon is evolving. My Drifloon evolved into Drifblim, and now it is the biggest balloon. And you know what big balloons do? They make little kids happy. After a long and tough 30 years later, I have finally beat a 3rd gym. In those 30 years, I could have talked to women, get a wife, and have kids. But instead, I am playing this throw ball at creature game made for 10-year-olds and adults that play it for a living. I find my next target to beat up and harass for absolutely no reason. This next target is none other than the Steel Titan, Orthworm. This thing is so unbelievably long that both guys and girls are jealous of its size and length. That's what she said. I battled Orthworm after it failed to run away from me at Mach speed. I am better, faster, and stronger than the stupid worm in every single way possible. I terrestrialize my Lucario and obliterate this so-called Titan so badly that it feels the need to run away and take a large and unnecessary amount of steroids to even have a chance to fight me. Arvid comes late, once again, and Lucario used Aura Sphere 1 whole time, again, to take out Orthworm. I barely made it out alive. I mean, look at the damage it did to me. One single hit from this worm and it would have been game over. After defeating the Titan with Lucario unscathed, Arvin makes sandwiches for the 10th time in a matter of 5 seconds to end world hunger. Every adult and child in Africa will have an infinite food source and be happy for the rest of their lives. Koraidon can now jump higher than before. This is going to be very important because all of the Titan Pokemon I already beat are secretly making a Star Bomba underground, and they plan to launch that sucker right in my face. Koraidon will be able to run at Mach speed and jump so high that we can escape before I breathe in all the smoke and ash and I die from suffocating. School was giving me a hard time, so I decided to do an unnecessary amount of AP biology homework for 4 hours straight before going insane. After not going insane at all, I killed a bunch of Magneton in this outbreak I found. Now you may be asking, why are you finding more outbreaks of Pokemon and starting another genocide? Do you really need another shiny? A shiny? What's that? I've never heard of one of those things before. No, silly. I just need to overlevel my Clodsire a bit so it can learn the only actually good ground type move it has available by leveling up, Earthquake. I might as well make use of this ground type Pokemon by getting the second and last ground type attack it can learn right now. After getting Clodsire to a very high level of 48, it finally learned Earthquake and now I can actually make some decent progress today. I head to the electric type gym to start the gym test, and Miss Who's a What's It here looks like and probably is a VTuber. Great! VTubers are some of the weirdest people to exist on planet Earth. Anyways, I have to play a very hard game of Where's Waldo and find Dr. Clavel within 0.02 seconds without failure. He is not very hard to find at all. After starting the battle with Iono, I realized that my Clodsire is very overleveled and I probably would have been fine using Mudshot instead of learning Earthquake. I also learned that 2 out of the 4 Pokemon you have to fight are actually immune to ground type moves. This bird is an electric and flying type. Flying types are immune to ground types. I killed the first 3 Pokemon with a couple of poison jabs and earthquakes. Iono sends out her second Pokemon that's immune to ground types because of its ability, Levitate. This ghost confused Clodsire, which was not helping with my goal, trying to beat the gym as fast as possible. I was quite annoyed by this. I swear this thing hit itself a couple of times in a row. After snapping out of confusion, Poison Jab does not kill this evil spirit and confuses me again. If this thing gets confused one more time, I am going to pull out all of my hair from my head and fold my monitor in half 17 times. I just sent in Lucario to finish the job. I beat the gym without getting annoyed at the game one bit, as you can clearly tell. Seriously, why would anyone get mad over a video game? That's just silly if you ask me. Next, I found an ice stone on the mountain and evolved Citadel into Cetitan. I wish this thing looked more like Citadel in certain ways, but it's still a very cool black shiny. I head towards the Poison Team Star base and was stopped by Clive. He claims not to be Clavel, even though it is literally Clavel wearing some stupid disguise that makes him look like an old man with the hairstyle of a 20-year-old that's just joined some rock band. After talking with this NPC, he teleported me closer towards my destination, unwillingly. I am suffering from the trauma this event gave me. Sure, the teleporting helped me, but now I know what people are capable of, and I don't know why or how I got teleported in the first place. My therapist will hear about this a lot in the 4,096 therapy sessions I need to go after an event like this. I was literally here just a second ago, and now I'm over here. I went to the boss of the base to make him fall off of his big scary vroom vroom car. It is in fact not very scary at all, and it will go in a minute after I break its engine. I sent in Clodsire and spammed Earthquake until everything died. I am very thankful to have this poisonous, to-the-touch, poop-looking, mud-spitting creature. Clodsire helped with 3 of the 18 major fights that Fighting, Ghost, and Ice are not super effective against. Clodsire also helped with the Flying-type Titan when I had no Ice types to instantly kill it with. I do not want to start killing large amounts of Pokemon any longer just so I can catch any useful Pokemon as a slightly different color that my sweaty, hairy man gamer hands can get a hold of. I do not support any war crimes such as genocide. Anyways, I headed to the water-type gym and had to return Kofu's wallet to him because he was an idiot and forgot it somehow. After returning it to him, he gives me $50,000 to bid on some seaweed for him. $50,000! Kofu, are you crazy? I am going to steal this money and pay off my house mortgage instead. I went over to the seaweed and played a little game of who can waste their money better than other people. We started bidding as if we were in a casino playing poker or some other gambling games. 15,000, 20,000, then 30,000. The stakes are really high here. It's all or nothing. I put in $40,000 and you guessed it, I won. I just spent $40,000 on some goddamn seaweed. Like, why? Like, $40,000. $40,000 we will never get back, ever. Kofu is now in crippling debt, as he should be for making such poor financial decisions. He even said that I can keep any leftover money. Damn right, I will keep that money. I am not helping him with any of his finances, but instead pay for my food and water to survive in this cursed world. I battled Kofu in the gym. I know you guys are sick and tired of seeing Lucario on the screen, but it's probably my best Pokemon and I want to speed through this game as fast as possible. Doing all this is very tedious, even without causing genocides to find a shiny Pokemon. But this battle was not very fast at all. Many things went wrong. My attacks were not very effective for some odd reason. Lucario's speed gets lowered. He even gets confused. I am having very scary flashbacks from when I was in the electric gym. If any more mild inconveniences happen, I'm going to take it out on my desk, my keyboard, my future wife, and take a bite out of my Nintendo Switch. I switch out Lucario for Drifblim to kill this Wug trio. What happens next? You guessed it, Kofu's Pokemon lands a critical hit and then dies to a big yellow balloon as punishment. I beat the water type gym and moved on with my life. My next goal was to beat the ground titan, Great Tusk. This giant elephant looks like it wants to stomp on my balls so unbelievably hard that I will not be able to have kids in the future, and my future wife will be mad about it. If I can't have kids, I might as well just get a vasectomy at this point and get them surgically cut off. I sent in Lucario, realizing there was a much better option, Drifblim. Drifblim is the perfect counter to this Titan. Drifblim is flying and ghost type, meaning that it's immune to all ground type and fighting type attacks. The Titan just happens to be both of these types. So it in fact did not step on my balls and crush them to bits. I will be able to reproduce with my future wife as many times as I want. Take that any way you choose to, it is still probably true. The Titan did have knockoff, which is a super effective dark type move, but it only used it once and I'm not quite sure why. I beat the Titan knowing that I will live to see another day, even after it took an illegal amount of performance-enhancing drugs. Sadly, the Ice Gym was not as easy as the Ground Titan. Lucario killed the first Pokemon but died to an Earthquake. I didn't even know the other Pokemon had Earthquake. Literally, almost all of my other Pokemon are weak to Ice. This is not good. I used Drifblim and Titan to stall out the fight while I revived Lucario like 327 times at this point. I managed to kill the second and third Pokemon, then do no damage to Altaria, and die again. I sent in Clodsire as it is my only option left and would have the best chance of surviving an attack. What do you know? It can actually tank a few hits. Once again, I am so glad that I accidentally found a Wooper outbreak when hunting for a shiny. Clodsire made every one of my Pokemon look pathetic and absolutely useless. I proudly used Poison Jab twice and take out Altaria, rewarding me with the Ice Gym badge. Did you know that Grusha is actually a guy? I do not believe this one bit, because those super feminine eyes and hair say otherwise. I barely made it out alive after that battle. My future therapist will become very familiar with everything that is related to Ice-type Pokemon. I will continue my journey and definitely will not be suffering mentally. I went to the Ghost Gym and started a double battle. I'm gonna be honest, this was my favorite battle in the game so far. You might be wondering why this is the case, and my answer is because I can use Earthquake to damage everyone on the field except Drifblim because it is immune to ground type moves, so there's no drawback for me. After coming up with this super pro epic gamer 9000 IQ strategy, I challenged the Ghost Gym leader, Snoop Dogg if he was a girl. Rhyme sends out Bayonet and Mimikyu while I send out Drifblim and Clodsire. Yes, this blob is here yet again to sweep the opponent's team. I put my super pro epic gamer 9000 IQ strategy to action by using Shadow Ball and terrestrializing Clodsire into a ground type and using Earthquake. Bayonet goes down, and Mimikyu goes down with it the next turn. Rhyme sends in her Houndstone. The audience was cheering me on so much that all of my Pokemon stats were boosted for absolutely no reason. This was just a free win for me. Houndstone uses Phantom Force, which allows it to avoid one attack and do damage for free. Rhyme sends in Toxtricity. The audience boosts my stats, Yet again! Thanks guys. I used Phantom Force myself not only to avoid Houndstone's Phantom Force but also make it face the consequences for trying to murder my yellow balloon. If you dare touch my balloon, it will lure your future young children away to a quiet and definitely not a dark or scary spot, and then proceed to carry them off to the afterlife. Drifblim doesn't even get a chance to attack because Clodsire decides it wants to be the MVP for this fight and knocks out both Houndstone and Toxtricity in one turn. Clodsire also landed a critical hit, which was very nice. I proudly took my Ghost Gym badge and realized how much fun double battles can be. Last but not least, I headed to the Psychic Gym. After passing the gym test that takes so long it will make you age 45 years in the span of 15 minutes, I battled the last gym leader, Tulip. I sent out Drifblim and used Stockpile 3 times to raise my defense and special defense. Then I spammed Shadow Ball and took an ungodly amount of damage. 17 more of those and I would have died. Oh no! I one-shot all of Tulip's Pokemon, showing no mercy. There is not much to say here. This was pretty easy. I grinded for a bit, and the results are Lucario becoming more like a dragon after learning Dragon Pulse, and Rufflet evolving to a useful Pokemon for once. And it's a very awesome brown and blue shiny. Nice. I traveled on foot for another 27 years and made it to the Fairy Team Starbase. I lead with Clodsire and challenge the boss to a battle. Who put a bowl of pink jello on his head and said that his bowl cut looks good? Like, what in the absolute hell is that goofy ass haircut?
Look at the top of his head!
Anyways, this pink jello head sent in a Azumarill. I tank a hit, but it would have been nice if Clodsire had Water Absorb as its ability instead of Poison Point. I used Gunk Shot for a bit and then switched it in Lucario because it learned Meteor Mash, a steel-typed move that's super effective. For those of you that don't know, Lucario is actually part steel-type, so any fairy attacks will not be super effective but deal neutral damage instead. I used Meteor Mash a few times and make it to the small and not so scary Vroom Vroom car. I used Meteor Mash twice and take a big chunk of its health out. I finish the fight with Clodsire and win the battle. I got teleported away from my next destination unwillingly. I make an attempt again to try to reach the Dragon Titan before getting messed with like an innocent little kid being pushed around. I struggled to defeat the Dragon Titan because both Tatsugiri and Dondozo are actually water types. Dondozo is pure water and Tatsugiri is water dragon. So both of them take almost no damage from Titan because water probably resists ice attacks. Arven comes in and becomes so useful that he made the battle take only 13 years of my life instead of 461 years. Now that's what I call the MVP. After beating Dondozo, Tatsugiri pops out of nowhere and challenges us to a third battle. I beat it up as fast as possible and moved on with life. Arven makes sandwiches for the last time. Thank God. And I fed my orange and purple dog. Arven feeds his real dog, and he was fully healed from his injuries. Only one last thing stands in my way before the Elite Four, the Fighting Team Starbase. This fight was so painful and unbelievably difficult. This single fight took me over 1 hour, or 60 minutes, also known as 3,600 seconds, and many attempts. 3,600 seconds. 3,600 seconds of our lives that we will never get back. Wonderful. Fantastic. I am ecstatic. If I had any brain cells left, it would be a very low number because I had to use all of my brain power to come up with a half-decent strategy to even to try to survive some of these stupidly strong Pokemon. They will slap. Okay. They will slap. They will slap you harder than California renting costs. I fought the boss twice already and die again. I decided to boost my defenses to the max with Drifblim, only to die to a crit from Lucario. Critical hits ignore all stat boosts, making the stat boost given to Drifblim pointless. This was devastating. After rage quitting and hitting my desk many times with my fist, ferociously, I challenged the boss one last time. This time, I played it super safe. Sadly, I don't know what happened to the footage because I don't have a single clip of me winning the fight, but I recorded it on my phone so you can see how insane I was after raging. You can't see the game at all, but it's better than nothing. I start the battle by leading with Braviary. Braviary is holding a sharp beak which boosts the damage of flying type moves and set up with Tailwind, a move that doubles your entire team's speed stat. I use Wing Attack to knock out the opponent's Toxicroak and Annihilate. Normally Annihilate survives one Wing Attack, but for some reason it just dies after one attack instead of two. I wasn't looking, but I'm gonna assume that it was a crit. I guess we'll never know because the footage got lost or corrupted somehow. The boss sends in her Pessimian and survives a Wing Attack, but it's at very low HP. Pessimian kills Braviary, and I send in my Drifblim to boost my defense stats with Stockpile. Drifblim is holding an Expert Belt, which increases the damage of super effective moves. I gave all of my Pokemon some kind of item, but most of them weren't used in the fight anyway, so they will not be talked about. Sorry guys, but you were amazing in the other battles. I managed to use Stockpile 3 times, used an X Defense and an X Special Defense. Also used an X Attack. This took a long time because I had to heal every other turn or I would die. I killed Pessimian with Gust and Lucario comes out. Lucario kills me with a crit and I have to set up all of my stat boosts again. I did get a clip of this and put it in the video for your guys' entertainment and to give you that juicy and sweet dopamine.
No!
Damn it!
Why?
I used my only max revive on Drifblim and boosted its stats again. And finally killed Lucario after 48 years of my life being wasted. Then the final stretch. The actually big and scary Vroom Vroom car. This is the only one that has been scary and difficult because of many deaths in previous attempts. I terrestrialized Drifblim, the flying type. I used Gust 3 times and finally beat the last of the 18 major battles and claimed my victory, becoming a stronger person than the person I was before the battle. I was so exhausted physically and mentally, so I took a break and got off for the night.
Yes! Let's go! Yes! Screw you.
After that fight, it is becoming increasingly apparent to me that we will not, cannot, and most certainly won't be able to get anything done with these underleveled Pokemon. It is impossible. We can't defend ourselves from anything in the goddamn galaxy, let alone a very big and very scary Vroom Vroom car that floats in the air instead of driving on the ground like a normal car. After waking up from my bed that I had crippling night terrors in, I leveled up my Pokemon to level 60. At a minimum. I do this in none other than a form of an Epic Gamer XP grinding session where I can start mass genocides against Chanseys and casually stare at 6 Blissies. This is just crazy because I only had an Encounter Power level 1 sandwich. Lucario learns close combat and can actually one-shot these guys now, speeding up the process. After my Epic Gamer grinding session, I am now ready to face the Elite Four. I bring bad news once again. This stupid piece of shit decided to freeze on one single frame every 10 milliseconds and I do not have any footage of the final battle against the champion. So I will just use someone else's footage. Sorry for the inconvenience. Anyways, with that issue definitely out of the way, I challenge the first of the Elite Four, Rika. I lead with Satitan to deal super effective damage against Rika's ground types. Wishcash constantly uses Muddy Water while I take it out with 3 Ice Spinners. Rika sends in Camerupt, so I sent out Clodsire to try and poison it. I just end up taking it out with Wing Attack. Rika sends in Donphan and I take it out with an Ice Spinner. I also knock out her Dugtrio and Clodsire with an Ice Spinner. After defeating Rika, this little 3-year-old toddler walks in like she's the shit. Who let this 1-foot child into this building? Your character, a 10-year-old, is beating up literal adults in Pokemon battles. So what's the difference with letting a 3-year-old child in here? I am going to lose my mind if I haven't already. I challenge the little 3-year-old and absolutely destroy her. Okay. Lucario died and this bird just committed suicide. Okay, what a world we live in, guys. It's pretty nice if you ask me. Nope, there's nothing wrong here. This playthrough is becoming more and more mildly degrading as we speak. I killed Magnuson with an Earthquake, kill Bronzong with a Shadow Ball, revive Lucario, and take out Tinkaton with one last close combat. I beat up a 3-year-old as I rightfully should. Then the biggest NPC stands before me, but he decides to not use the most boring type in the game. Way to go! I challenged Larry, anticipating a better battle than the last time. Do you want to take a guess at which Pokemon I used? That's right, I used Titan once again, and knock out every single one of Larry's Pokemon except
his Flamigo. I defeated Larry with one Shadow Ball from Drifblim. Mr. Grandpa with arthritis over here walks in and somehow doesn't even break his ankles. Very surprising. I ignore the fact that his ankles are twisted 270 degrees and challenge him to one last battle before the champion. I ran out of PP to use Ice Spinner, so I Trash Sliced to tighten into an Ice type and used Avalanche on every single one of Hassel's Pokemon except Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur took me out with a few Glade Rushes. Oh yeah, this is where the footage and everything went to shit. So there will be someone else's footage for the rest of the challenge. Sorry, I'm really sorry about the inconvenience, but I just can't go back and there's no way to fix that, so I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. Lucario one-shot Baxcalibur with a Dragon Pulse. I defeated Grandpa and he cried. There, Hassel. Do you want a hug? You are 3 years old. He's gonna have to pick you up like a little child to give you a hug. And Grandpa touching little children would not be okay. So let's not try and get anyone arrested here. We do not want that at all. There would be much censoring needed. Finally, I see La Primera, aka Gita, and challenge her to a battle. And like I said before, the recording just froze on 1 frame during this battle, so obviously there are no shiny Pokemon or even the correct Pokemon in the battle. Basically, I used Wing Attack twice with Braviary and set up Tailwind before Spathra killed it. I sent in Lucario, used Meteor Mash to knock out a Spathra. Gita sends in King Gambit. Lucario uses Close Combat to one-shot King Gambit. Gita sends in Avalok, and Lucario uses Close Combat to one-shot it again. Gita sends in Go-Go and uses Bulk Up so many times that it wipes out my entire team except Lucario. I killed Go-Go with Meteor Mash. Gita sends in Velusa, who gets obliterated by Drifblim's Shadow Ball. Last but not least, Gita sends in her ace Pokemon, Glimmora. I Trash Slice Lucario into a pure fighting type and one-shot Glimmora with a close combat, completing the challenge. This was pretty fun in the end, but it took a very long time. And it takes a lot of motivation to even shiny hunt to begin with. And I started this playthrough December of 2022. Yeah, you can tell how much I didn't play the game after starting the playthrough. Trying to edit it all together while going through school. With that, the challenge has been completed. Can you beat Pokemon Scarlet with Shinies only? The answer is yes. It's just a matter of how long will it take you. If this video blows up and gets 100 likes, I will do a Pokemon Brilliant Diamond playthrough with Shiny Chimchar. And I might actually do Shinies only for that game too. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this kind of content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Here are all of the other games that I play and I'm willing to make videos about if you want to see that. Leave a suggestion. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.